Morning, everybody. So, we had a significant move up last night. I caught some of it. I've not started the hole today, thank goodness. Um, so we ended up opening with a gap up, made all-time highs again and again and again in pre-market. Um, First 30 minutes of the trading day, let's just forget about we were making all-time highs. A half gap fill, which this is a significant gap. A half gap fill in the first 30 minutes is 70% likely. It's 200 point gap up. So that would be a pullback of 50% would be about a 100 point pullback. And I like the fact that it corresponds well with the 4 hour low that occurred overnight. So my hypo here is that we trade down into this guy, put up some sort of a reversal pattern, and then adios paya to, I think I still have this level marked up here. No, I don't. Let's go to a daily. I need to mark that level. Oh yeah, there it is. I have it up there. So yeah, it's a 24.55-ish. It's 25% extension of this run. From here all the way to where we took the all-time high, 25% extension of that gets us to here. I would love to see it go there today, but if you go back to where we took the last all-time high, which was here, we pulled back and then we went, but we didn't go immediately. It didn't do it in one day. The first leg of the run looks like it did. Let's see. So here is our, this was actually a new all-time high as well. So that would be kind of where we are now. 225 on the first day, then we pulled back. So we just now eclipsed the other all-time high. It could take a week to get there, but I think that's our target. Could go today. We just have to look and see. Wait and see. Oh, sweetness. Look at that. Took out the 4 hour. Oh, there we are at the half gap. Will we reverse? Let's put on a 1 minute. Oh, we got a 1 minute. That's funny. Okay. So I want to see a reversal pattern here, but I would like to see a breaker before the moon up here. But you take what you can get. And we don't have to stop there. There's another 4 hour low here where we could come all the way to settlement. That would even be sweeter. Because I think wherever we stop, we're heading right back up here. So the bigger the pullback we get here, the more money we're going to make on the way back to the all-time high. So be patient. As it sits right there, we're only 80 points off of it. I'd rather be 200 points off of it. I don't like to take trades until the first 30 minutes is come and gone. But if this puts up a sweet reversal pattern, you can bet your sweet behind I will be taking a trade before the first 30 minutes are gone. How's it looking, folks? It's looking like we could potentially validate that breaker, huh? I'm a little nervous because we're pre, but I'm gonna go ahead and mark it out. So our breaker is that guy right there. I'm liking that move. This remains open. We get a fair value gap here. I will be going long. Just have to be real patient. Really need 3 candles here. We need one that creates a fair value gap. Another one, this one has to finish or the fair value gap is not complete yet. And then we need one more to come down and test the fair value gap and leave it open. Right now, we have a very small gap forming. We can't say it's already good to go. You got to be patient. Very small gap right there, but it could fill in. This candle still has 22 seconds. All right, so it almost completely filled. Now it's completely filled. So we don't have a fair value gap. We can't jump in yet. We still have yet to have a candle body close above the breaker. Now, if we went to a smaller time frame, like a 15-second chart, we may be able to find a breaker lower down here. No, we can't. This would be our breaker right here. So right now, we just have to be patient and wait. I'm going to stick to the 1-minute chart. And that 1-minute breaker, because the 15-second chart, while it does provide some additional information, I mean, just looking at that, we left a high. This could be our higher low here, serve as a higher low. Our bullish order block would be this one here. So our components for a reversal pattern is we come down, we take out a significant level. We try to push down again and fail, creating a higher low. Then we validate the breaker with candle bodies closing above and a fair value gap. So we still have a little ways to go before we've gotten to all that. So still waiting on this thing to do something good. I think I've really turned a corner on my patience here because normally I would be like, okay, this is definitely going up, and I would already be in a position. But we've got some of the elements. We've taken out a 4 hour low. If you look at like the 15-minute chart, this was, and we put extended trading hours back on. We took out the London consolidation low, filled half the gap, and now we're trying to put up a reversal pattern. Extremely bullish overnight. Reluctance to fill the gap so far. And we're getting close to 9. Gap fill rules is if we don't fill it within the first 30 minutes, we're probably not going to, at least not right now. We may save it for another day. But we could also fail to validate this breaker and rip all the way down to settlement and take out this 4 hour low, which that's what I would prefer. I would love to see this gap fill and then come right back up to this all-time high and even surpass it. But just don't know. You just never know. And I just have this feeling big money is accumulating orders right here. And we're going to pop. But it's okay if it doesn't. I highly doubt that any of this pullback is going to stay down today. So as as long, I mean, it can pull back. I would be okay with it pulling back into this area. I don't care how far it pulls back. I don't believe we're going to have a directional day to the downside today. I think we will have a reversal pattern at some point. And that's the only thing I'm taking today is a long. I will not take a short. Maybe we don't do anything. Maybe we stay in consolidation right here all the way until MOC. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Sweet Mary. God. Bless, would that suck? That would make everybody throw their computer out the window. You know, there's people in here trying to scalp this range too. If only I didn't suck so bad at scalping, I might be one of them. When you have a system that works, why take any other trade? If you got one that's 80% effective, 90% effective, why take any other trade? It just doesn't make any sense. The only reason you would is if your focus is on making money rather than the process. The process, to me, is my system. And I have, in the last 2 months, when I started really spotting these things in real time and really doing well with getting funded, I was focused 100% on making money. How much size can I put on here? And, how quickly can I make my millions? And process was still there, but I would definitely be in a trade right now to the long side rather than waiting for my breaker to validate and just abiding by my rules. I would be in a trade right now. But when you have some success and you've been struggling up to that point with anything consistent, and then you start seeing some consistent success, from what I've understood from listening to other traders and doing the psychology videos and things like that, um, it's common for overconfidence to take hold and take some trades and getting humbled. You get humbled. And so I had to do a little reset, take a break from the market, think about what's important here. You can't just take a trade because you want to make money. Okay. There has to be a methodology behind it. Otherwise, you're just gambling. And so, with that realization, I have been a whole lot more patient with demanding my rules be met prior to taking a trade. Not always. I mean, some days I still hit an impulse button. Last week I hit an impulse button more than once. I actually made over $1,000 every day last week. But because I was clicking some impulse buttons, I was usually in the hole when I started. So far this week, I've started the day in the green. Yesterday, I started the day in the green, but only 75 bucks. I wouldn't say that the trades I took were impulse trades. I would just say the ones I took did not work out because the setup was there. The market just didn't produce. It just wanted to stay in a god awful range forever. But I did end the day in the green yesterday. Not by much, but it was green. Let's see if we can get some more people short here. That's what the market makers are thinking. I wonder if we push this thing down a little bit more, if we can get some more people to buy it on a short. Because they want to trap as many people short as they can. And then they'll put off some sort of news bomb and rip to the new highs. I guarantee that's going to happen. You couldn't pay me to short this market right now. Well, you could. I would take $1,000,000. No, I don't. It's about the process, so I don't know that I would necessarily take money on it. I don't know. I mean, if the goal is making money and you want to pay me for shorting the market, I damn sure short it. I guess it just depends on how much money we're talking about. Do I want to pass a trading combine or do I want a pile of money? All right. Please go all the way back to settlement. It's 9 o'clock. All right, we got us a new low and a new breaker. A little bit lower in the column. Not much lower, but a little bit lower. Please go all the way back to settlement. If you wonder where settlement is, it's right here. I didn't label it today, but I'm going to go ahead and label it. Might as well not doing anything else right now. I'm waiting for everybody to get short. Wait, I guess we need some mood music to soothe our nerves as we wait. I don't really feel stressed out about this. I feel like I'm about to make bank and I just got to wait for my setup. That's what I feel like. I feel excited a little bit. I feel like maybe I'm being a little overconfident. Maybe we do trade down the rest of the day. If we do, then that's fine. But the thing that I need to be cautious of is when this thing does go long, I'm going to want to throw the kitchen sink at it. By that I mean over leverage, most likely, and I'm going to prevent myself from doing that. And I'm also going to want to hold until the cows come home, with the expectation that we not only take the all-time high, but we push much higher. If we looked at that candle when the other one, earlier, when we looked at that, the day it surpassed the all-time high, it was only a 200-point run from the all-time high. And so our previous all-time high was right here. I believe that was it. Yeah, it was right here. How far have we gone above it so far? 111 points. So if history repeats itself and we go 225 points above the previous all-time high, where's that going to put us? Just out of curiosity. Right there. 20, 23, 37 quarter. I'm going to put a line on there just for fun. And I'll put it as a possible extension. I'll just put it as 225 points. Did I spell all that right? 225 point extension. Oh, I see something. Yeah. So let's Let's see here. We pushed down. We made another push down. Ooh, is that lower? Is that the lowest low? 23, 120.50. Ooh. So this is actually our breaker right here now, I think. Let's just double check. That's 21. That's 2075. That's 2050. We took that one out by a tick. This is our new breaker. And we have a fair value gap pulling away from it right now. So here's some patience we need. We got to wait for this candle to finish and the next candle to respect. And then we'll be okay to go long. I am very impatient about waiting right now. I want to get in so bad, but I'm going to wait. If we go all the way to that 225 level, we got plenty of meat on the bone to make some money. If we just go to the all-time high, we got plenty of meat on the bone to make some money, 80, 90 points. 16 seconds remain on this candle. I would like to see it pull back and maybe get a fill right here at that 51. And I sure want to over leverage here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put in the order with the 5 little guys at 50. Is it 51? 51.50. Right there, 51.50. Now, let me double check because the rule is one tick above that candle. And so I may have missed it already. But maybe not. Maybe I'll get lucky and it takes it out. I should be waiting for this one to complete and respect this because it could fill it in still. But I am quite confident this is our deal. Okay, so I missed the fill because I was a little bit too low. Maybe right here we can get down. I'm just going to move it to this wick test right here. We'll probably go down there. I'll wait. I'll wait. There we go. Come on. Get me this time. I don't want to miss this thing. I'm going to go ahead and get in. There we go. And I'm going to put my stop way down here below this low. That would be a lot of money. 34 points on 5 micros. That is 68 times 5. That's all my P&L that I have right now. So if this thing decides to go the other direction, I'm going to lose, but I am leaving it. I am quite confident we're about to see an all-time high, a brand new all-time high during market hours. We look at a 30-minute candle. Our opening range is here. We took out the high of the opening range right there, respected the half gap. This is a sweet setup, folks. This is a sweet, sweet setup. Oh. Now, we could come back down to here. We have been doing that this week, returning to the breaker. We could take out one of these highs like these two and then come back down to the breaker. If you're just wanting low-hanging fruit, put your stop right there to take profit right here above those guys, which would be the corresponding candle would be this one. And this is a 15-minute. And you could go ahead and take profit there and try to get a reentry either here or here. But I am quite convicted that we're going to see a push up. So I'm going to go ahead. If it does come back down here, I will add rather than take my profit off. If I lose this trade, if I lose 400 bucks, or it's going to be close to 400 bucks, I'm okay with that. Because this is like 2,000% my setup, and it's with the trend. I mean, this is a freaking awesome setup. Really is. Sweet setup, sweet setup. So do we try for only the all-time high, or do we try to extend it? Where did we think? 225 points. Oh, it was over here. There's all-time. And there, it's at 23.3. I don't know if I'm going to try to push it much higher than the all-time highs, but maybe just the daily candle we have so far today. What would be the 25% of it? Reverse it and add 125. Okay, so that would be at 278. I like that. Rather than the points, I like that. So that's where I'll put my take profit. All right, so we took those highs. That would be the low hanging fruit objective. If you haven't already gotten in down here, there's a fair value gap right here and a little one here. You could pull back to either one of those or all the way back to here or the breaker. But it's looking awfully bullish. I would try to get in at the base of these wicks if you can. About to hit round number. There's usually a pullback when we hit round number. A smart man would take some of his risk off here. I'm not supposed to look at my P&L here, but I'm going to take a peek. Oh, got to get to 1520, and I get this bad boy funded today. I think it's possible. I think it's possible. I'm going to try for it. If you're not in already, the market doesn't move in straight lines. There will be a pullback at some point. I mean, it does sometimes move in straight lines, but so far today, we haven't seen a straight line. So getting in at the base of those wicks right there, I think would be a really good opportunity for you. These right here where it just now popped them. That's one fair value gap here, and then there's another little one right here. We want to see it stay above those, preferably. Oh. How far will we pull back here? Do we go all the way to the breaker? Or is that it? If you're of a mind to take a short, the breaker is here. We have not validated it with candles closing below. I feel like adding, but every time I add, I get my butt handed to me, so I'm not going to. Just because I want the market to continue higher, it doesn't have to. We have a gap fill opportunity down there. So I'm not going to get greedy. I'm just going to hope we take the all-time high and extend it by 25% of the daily range. I guess I should kill my long men, huh? Okay, so exit criteria. The breaker is right here. If we have this candle body would be an island bar for that breaker. And I would need to kill this trade if this candle body stays below that breaker. If it closes below this line, I would kill the trade. Go ahead and take my profit. And it did. So I got to kill it. All right. So now what are we left with? This fair value gap has been filled in. We did have a push below. We had an island bar below, but we didn't have any follow through. We could still come down here or here, but because we haven't had any follow through here, if we go above the high of this breaker, I will re-enter at the high of that breaker on a pullback, hopefully. It would be really sweet if it would come back down to here or down to this one right here. That would be the ideal entry for me, is if we could come and take out these wicks right here. This should be mauve, purple. We left a little money on the table there. But the other day I was, I'm always putting a take profit to the moon and really not really didn't have an exit strategy. What gets me out of the trade? Well, that's my new exit strategy. When a breaker to the downside, if I'm long, the breaker to the downside validates by an island bar closing below the breaker, then I go ahead and kill the trade. Coming down into here, ooh, that would be sweet. Touching this line, ooh, that would be even sweeter. I will take another long when we get there. Oh man, beautiful, beautiful. If we can get an entry here, I'm in like Flynn. You know what I'm going to do? Because I'm just going to do, I'll do four. Four long. Because we have been returning all the way to the breaker. You know what? I need to wait. I need to wait. I need to be patient here. Because this is a fair value gap to the downside so far. We got 13 seconds remaining to see if it stays open. But I like that we took out these wicks. I would have preferred we go to the breaker, but I'm not going to demand it. So now we do have a small fair value gap there to the downside. See it? So that would be a validated breaker to the downside. I'm not taking shorts today, so if you want to, you're welcome. If I could get in at the halfway point of this wick right here, I would be pretty thrilled about that. But down here would be even better. Okay, so now we're inverting that fair value gap. I'm going to go ahead and get in. I'm just going to mark it in right here with 5 of those bad boys. And I'm going to put my stop below the breaker is at 139. Man, that's a long way down. I don't think I want to risk that much. Oh man, I thought we filled it in, but we didn't. Where's the breaker? Yeah, it's 139. I'm getting out. I don't want that much risk. I mean, I think we're good, but man, it's hard to believe it moved that fast. Quit looking at that P&L and let's look at this. Here's our premium wick. The way that candle finished green, I like that. This is our line of demarcation right here at 155. I don't want to see it go below that. If it does, I'll kill the trade. Man, how many points is that? That's 54 dadgum points all the way to the low. I guess it doesn't really matter. This is going to be my stop. I can kill it from there. I don't think we're going to rip lower. We've respected that fair value gap. And I thought we already validated it. Because I didn't wait for that candle to finish, I thought, oh, we're good. But so that was a little bit early entry for me there. I think we're good still. I really do. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. The market does not care what I think at all. See, I thought we were going and I've jumped in. That was a bad entry on my part. I still think we're going, but it was a bad entry on my part. Okay, so maybe we touch this breaker and we pull back again. Maybe I could get a better entry. We definitely violated that fair value gap on that candle. And we've come back to the breaker here. Most of these breakers, when they validate, even in a bullish, even in a bearish market, will give you 20 points. So this would be our entry. Man, I don't like to see this pushing back down. I should have killed it and waited for a better entry. There's my stop point right there. If we go below that, I gotta kill it. With candle bodies, not much with wicks. Wicks do the damage. The bodies tell the narrative. $20 points. We took 20. Do we go to pre-market low? I'm getting nervous. I don't want to give back any profit. I need to see some changes here in the offering. Can we get a green candle? All right, so I'm comforted by the fact that we respected the halfway point of this premium wick with candle bodies. I am not comforted by the fact that we went there, wicked into it, pulled straight back. I just kind of want to take this one off. Dang it. So far, we're still valid. I think we're going back to the breaker. If I kill it and it rips higher, I'm going to be upset. But the way I've managed this combine here is killing my losers quickly. And see, right there is a pretty dadgum good candle to the downside. Still hadn't finished, however. Bodies tell the narrative, wicks do the damage. These bodies are saying I want to push lower. Okay, I've got to kill it. Dadgummit. That's 50. How are we with the breaker here? This is the midpoint of the fair value gap after the breaker. I think I'm letting all my P&L just slip away here. I mean, if I was going to enter, I'd be entering right here. I entered way too high. Made a new low. My exit criteria is already long gone. I'm holding too long, aren't I? I'm just convicted that we're going higher. And I don't need to be convicted here. Halfway point of that fair value gap is where I would have entered had I not gotten FOMO. I was sure I was missing out. At this point, do we kill it? I mean, we're 20 points in the hole on 5. That's a couple of $100. Could be easily made up on a good reversal pattern here. Or do I just hold it? I certainly don't want it to go down to here. I have no interest in losing that much money. I think I got to kill it. I mean, I don't have a choice here. It's not reversing. It's making new lows each time. I don't have a choice. Okay, so here's the breaker. Let's see if we respect it. That was a good kill. This one should be purple. That would have taken me out. I'm glad I killed it. If I'm a billionaire and we are going higher, I certainly don't want to buy up there. Not in the market for shorts today. Still, I will wait until it decides it's found the bottom. We did not bounce off the top of the breaker. We still have respected the bottom. But man, that thing pulled back a lot further than I expected it to. So in the world of the breakers, would this be our high or low? Or are we just returning to 50 for a push down to round number? I think we need to put on a bigger time frame, see if we can get a big picture view of this. I mean, we got it over here on the micros, but let's look at it over here. This is the opening range low. We took it out. Now we've revisited it. Came down to the breaker, respected the lower portion of the breaker, took out that low. So the breaker on this move would be right here. If we can validate that, I will feel fairly confident in going long. There we go. We got a fair value gap upside here, one here as well. We've respected the breaker on the bottom. Original fair value gap is here, center is there. $12 remain on this candle. This fair value gap is 53. This one, it gets down to 48. Man, that was an FU wick right there. Okay, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna do 5 more. And where is this? 48. I'm gonna try 5 more at 48. Just because of that wick right there. I feel like this is the fair value gap we're playing off of right now. I may be dead wrong. The center of it is actually 46. So I was wanting to enter a tick above right there. And it didn't quite get there. But that's okay. You can definitely tell there's been a change in the state of delivery. Kind of looking like there has been. I would be okay with entering at 58 if we start trading above that line. But I would prefer to enter down here at 48. Right at the top of this. Top of this is 48 even, so I would go 48 quarter. 48 quarter. It doesn't look like I'm going to get an opportunity to enter down there. Okay, so I'm going to move it to 58. Now we'll go down to 48. Getting impatient. I'm getting that FOMO. And then this stop is exactly where I had my entry before. So I'm going to leave it there. If I get stopped out, it's only $100. It's going, isn't it? Son of a gun. Hmm. Maybe my direction is wrong. Maybe we are going all the way back down to the bottom. Maybe we make settlement. All I know is I just wasted $350 of my profit for the day. Trying to pick a bottom. Heck yeah. Didn't wait for that other breaker to validate. So these are no longer valid. How much damage did I do? I got $271 on the day. Son of a gun. That's all right. I certainly didn't expect to push this low, but I will take it. We're setting up for the long here. If I don't get an opportunity to go long, if this turns out to be a directional day to the downside, that's okay. I'm fine with missing out. I've got a $270 day right now. Fill the gap, you dirty, rotten scoundrel. If we fill the gap, we're going to come all the way down to here. That was a good reversal signal. I didn't think it was going to be, but I find most of the time when I go against my system, I get my butt handed to me. So at this point, it seems like almost like a wasted day, like I missed the big move. So now I'm looking 4 hour all the way down to here in settlement is a possibility. Still not interested in taking a short. Because it's going to find a bottom and it's going to rip higher eventually. If you want to take a short, you are welcome. Um, Down here, down to settlement, this 4 hour low, I'd be okay with any of that. This is a 4 hour fair value gap right here we wicked into. Let's look at the daily candle again. That's half gap. Where was the daily half? Did we mark it? We marked the 25%, but we didn't mark the half. So if I'm a billionaire, I would want to buy below this halfway point right there. For a push to the all-time highs, if we are going there. So I'm looking at that as a possible reversal point. We'll label it. not even going to look at that. I'm going to pretend like that never happened. And we're going to start marking bullish potentials. We got a new low here. So our bullish guy is right here. I want to see candles start closing above this line. And I'll just start walking that line down until we get something to show reversal. So a billionaire certainly wouldn't buy up here if he thinks we're going higher. He would put his $1 billion order down here below the 50% mark of the day. Now that we've got a little more market information, and he would buy the lower the better. Round number, beautiful. I should always approach the market with, if I'm a billionaire, where would I want to buy? That is a sweet validation of that breaker. But we did blow through the fair value gap. So it's kind of, once we got down below it again, we respected it. If I was short-minded, I'd have dang sure taken that. Got a new breaker right there. I know a lot of folks that short the all-time highs. I'm just not one of them. I should always trade what I see instead of what I think. I would probably make a lot more money. I got burned on a few shorts last night that validated like this and then didn't materialize. So that's probably why I'm reluctant to take shorts today. I've got short PTSD. That's a 100-point drop from 23.2 to 23.1. 100 points. I missed out on it completely. A little frustrating. I hope y'all caught it. Did anybody catch that move? to the downside. It's starting to push like we're going to validate this breaker. But 20 to back down, that's pretty common rotation from 20 to round number. So I'm going to need to see some serious upside movement, possible validation of or inversion of this fair value gap right here. And that's a bearish one. So if we were to validate the breaker, which we're starting to have a candle opened above it, we're starting to have a little bit of a push higher. I would like to see it come here and go above it. You know what I never marked out was first prez. That's our 930. There's a tiny little first prez right there. Man, that is so small. Is there any others? Nope, it's right here, and it's to the downside, which doesn't really matter. I mean, that's just almost like a tick. But that's it. Look at those candle bodies, how they respected it. Wicks doing some serious damage, but they respected it. I wouldn't have taken a short either way, but I certainly wouldn't have taken a long there had I had that marked out. I might have gone ahead and take the long because I was very eager for this thing to go to the all-time highs again. So I might have done it. You trade with your emotions, man. Logic. Um, Logic is only factors in before the market and after the market. Once you start trading, your emotions are what you're trading. And my emotions were, let's go to the freaking moon. And I look for things to validate that rocket ship to the moon, even ignoring there was actually a pre-market breaker right here. And when we went up, there was no fair value gap to the downside, really, other than here. We didn't touch it. We got close, but we didn't touch it. So you couldn't say it was like a 100% to the tick touch of that guy. So we're getting some components of a reversal pattern. We pushed down. We went to a level of interest, which would be 50% retrace of the day. So far, the day candle is not finished, so you can't really, I mean, you would look at yesterday which we're so far above yesterday. We'd have to come way down here to get to 50% of yesterday. Be about right here. I don't see that happening. So we have the breaker starting to validate here. We don't have a higher low necessarily. I mean, we got this one. I would like to see another push lower. Like this could be considered a push lower that failed. So now we just need a fair value gap to the upside. An entry would be nice too. And then we can confidently take a long here. Do y'all ever look at the tilt? Usually the guys on the top step talk about the tilt. We're 50-50 on the tilt. We get 52% going long. But when this number gets up to like 80%, like for example up here, it was probably in the 80% long range because that's retail traders' mindset. That's usually a thing where you would want to go short. Fade those retail traders. And here we're at 72% long on the ES and 52% long on NASDAQ. I don't know if it matters, but it's just something interesting. I don't think you could base a trade on it. Okay, so we do have a fair value gap forming to the upside now. I could put this box back on, but I'm not going to use it as something I'm going to be like, okay, well, I can now get into a trade because we've inverted this. I'm going to look at this. So I don't really think it's important to my trading strategy, but I do like this move up. This candle's going to be finished in 6 seconds. Don't get FOMO here because that is the center of that fair value gap. We should get a pullback. So now breakers here. This candle may be a fair value gap, but it's not yet. We got to wait for this candle to finish. And then we've got to wait for the next candle to respect this fair value gap. If it does end up being one. And then we would be okay to go long. But with breaker validated, I'm feeling pretty good about the opportunity to go long here. See, that's pretty interesting. We just wicked into the halfway point of that. So at this point, we could have more downside. Okay, so we did stay open. So this would be a bullish fair value gap. It runs from this wick to that wick. This was our entry right there, and we didn't get in. We need to wait for this candle to finish to see if this thing is actually respected. The wick already filled it in, but the candle body is what we're interested in. Does this stay open? Nine seconds, we will know. Be patient. All right, so I'm going to try to enter at the top of this thing. The top is 29. I think I missed it already. Yeah, I did. I'm going to chase we go. Really shouldn't chase. When a big candle like that happens in my favor, I'd like to chase, but I really shouldn't chase. I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna get out of here, hopefully with a profit. And I'm gonna demand that it come back down to this volume imbalance. Oh man, I'm gonna hate myself for doing that, but maybe I'll enter here. I'll try to enter there. 38. Man, that volume imbalance would be sweet. 32. That would be the better entry if it will come back down to here. Let's see what it looks like on the micro. Yeah, there's a volume imbalance there as well. So revisiting that thing, quite possible. And still, I mean, if you got in here, it might go ahead and pop. It might go ahead and run without you if you don't get filled here. But if you get in there and it does come back, you're going to have a pretty good sized stop loss. I guess for a FOMO move, you could maybe get two there. You could get two there and add two more when if it comes back down to this. See, I'm concerned that we're not going to come all the way down there, but I'm hoping we do. Man, I just want to jump in. All right. So I like that fill a whole lot better. Now, I only have a 100-point risk on this, and I've got 4 contracts, so I'm going to go ahead and put on 20 points. It'll be 200. I just don't know that that's enough when we're burning through fair value gaps like they're standing still. Breakers all the way down here at 19. Runs from 19. It's a big breaker. So yeah, I could get smoked on this one too. Hope not. It will take away all my profits for the day if I do. I'll be up at $71. We did come up and fill in this fair value gap right here and then fall back out of bed. Breaker would have been a nice entry here. I don't like that we filled in these guys. I mean, this one filled it in 100%, even with a candle body. This would be an interesting time to look at the tilt, see if it was 80% long. I mean, it changes so rapidly, you have to keep an eye on it all the time. So NASDAQ is now saying 55% short. So retail traders think we're going lower. Retail traders are the ones big money tries to steal all the money from. So you want to be opposite what retail thinks. Oh my gosh, don't do that to me. That's almost a breaker touch there. almost a breaker touch. So they may want to go. I mean, I freaking hate this, but I mean, are we having news? Need to know market risk. Nvidia and AMD will resume chip sales in China. Overall expected, blah, blah, blah. City CEO expect to see good prices start ticking up over summer. Trump crypto czar Sachs, we shouldn't be selling our best chips to China, CNBC. So maybe Trump's chiming in about that whole thing, and that's what's causing this market movement. Possibly. The news is only a catalyst for the market makers to move price where they want it. I am tempted to get out of this short just because we pulled back much further than I expected. But I'm going to hold it. I just don't like that price action very much. If this would have wicked, if it would have left this one open completely, I would feel a lot more confident. But the candle bodies took it out. But as far as the breaker goes, we're good. So I'll stick with it. $56%. We need about 80% short on the tilt here, and then we can really start ripping some buy side liquidity. Sure would feel a lot more confident if it would give us a huge candle and invert that first press. Let me get rid of the tilt for a minute. You know, retail guys, sometimes they're right. I'm a retail guy, but I don't trade the retail trader's handbook, or what do they call it? The retail trader's Bible. I think ICT says to read that thing and fade it because it's absolute hogwash. And I believe you. Focus on the process, not the P&L. Time of day really kind of sucks. This is London's close, coming up on London close. I like to see a move like this occur. I mean, I've seen it occur at 11:30, but I prefer to see something like this happen, like the short happened around 10:30. So we validated that breaker right here, and that was at 10:30. So that's when I prefer to see a move, and then the move back up. Usually, I prefer to see it occur. 11:30 is okay, but 12:30, 1:30 is usually the take back time. So this one may not work out. This may be the wrong time of day for it. Or it may just trickle higher for the rest of the day, or it may make a new low. And big money wants to buy below that 50% mark. So they could put a big order down there again. We could wick down there. And they'll put a news story out and say, "Oh, Trump did this," but the reason the market goes there is because there's a big order down there. I would like to see a freaking rip higher, not. I want to see an elevator up instead of. I mean, this was kind of the staircase down. I want to see an elevator up. All right, I'm liking this price action, but we're just getting to 50. Inverting this would be like, okay, let's add to this position kind of a move, but I don't know that I will because that's usually when I mess up. I went through a little stint there where I was trying to maximize my profits by trading E-minis instead of micros. And I just determined that with this account, this is a $2,000 account. You can say it, oh, it's $50,000 account, but you have $2,000 to play with at any given time on any given day. So 2,000 bucks. And like for me, for example, I'm trying to make over $1,000 to right at $1,000 a day will get me funded. So that is a 50% gain on my allowable loss limit in one day, and which I did. Every day last week I made over $1,000. I just started in the hole, so I was make up my $1,000 and then have $200 profit on the day. But the point is, $2,000. If you can get $1,000, that's 50% gain in one day. Now, if you were in a regular brokerage account, the next day you would have $3,000, but not on the Top Step program. You still only have $2,000 to play with the next day. So you have to use your combine with that in mind. You only have $2,000 to lose on any given day. Now, once you get funded and you get a big cushion, like old Coach Dakota had a $100,000 cushion, now you got a $100,000 account. And if you lose 2,000 bucks, you only lost 2,000 bucks. You still got $98,000 to play with. But up until that point, this is a $2,000 account, and $200 a day is a 10% gain. So you got to keep that in mind. I like that we have pushed through the first presentation fair value gap, even though it was super tiny. And I don't like the fact that we pushed back through it, but we're at 50. If we respect this fair value gap right here, then that would be a decent place to add, really. I think there's plenty of meat on the bone that adding to it would just put me into a risk situation that isn't necessary. The all-time high is here. The extension of the all-time high is here. If I do a Hondo, a 100 point, that's $1,000. I don't think that'll quite get me funded. Maybe I do need to add, maybe I'll add one more at the first press. Just one. See if we're good on that. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to get filled. But there is a little volume imbalance there, so I went ahead and put it there. Well, I put it there at that one. 56 is the top of the first press. I'm at 56 quarter. These two wicks, once they get taken, we may get a pullback. But if I don't get an extra contract on, that's okay. Let's see how we're doing on that. So from right here, we're going to need another $1,000. So 1,000. It's $200 on 100 points on one. We would have to get all the way to 62. It's not going to quite get me there, but maybe we can get a push above the all-time highs, and I can kind of mess around with it there. Had I not taken those other two short or long trades, we would be a heck of a lot closer because I was up significantly more than I am right now. But if we can come back down to first presentation fair value gap right here, it's 56.75. I need to move it 56.75. And then I don't mind adding one. Maybe I should add one at this volume imbalance. I'll try to. I'm not gonna risk it. If it doesn't fill me there, I'm not gonna risk it. It's a sweet reversal. Pretty dadgum sweet. Will we reject off of this breaker? Let's mark it out just so we can look at it. Are we going to reject and trade lower for the rest of the day? That might be a good take profit. The fair value gap that formed after the breaker is right here. Very small, but it's there. And we just traded through it. Well, no, we didn't. That candle body poked a little bit above it and then pulled back. See, I could have got into that volume imbalance. I just don't want to press my luck because I can add anything and then we'll have a 50-point pullback and the daggum thing starts working against me. I mean, that's a sweet spot. I'll go ahead and try one more right there. All right. That's not going to, adding 1 to 5 is not going to rape you. But prepare for a 20-point pullback here because I just added one contract to my lot. It's going to happen. guaranteed. Mm-hmm. First prez, maybe this right here. I told you it would happen. If I add, bad shit's about to happen. That would have filled me right there. But we're probably going all the way back to the breaker here. I'm telling you what, this is. Had I not added, I think we would have continued up to all-time highs without a single pullback. All right, there's one more. I sure hope I don't get spanked on this thing. I'll be pissed. Jeez. It kind of respected it. I mean, it went, this candle body went above it. This one went a little bit above it. This presentation after the breaker. So our first one after this breaker, we had that one. This one's the first one, and we just traded into it. Let's move that up. After this pullback here, then this is it. I like that we've respected it. And it's exactly the same size as the other one down below. You dirty, rotten, freaking scoundrel. Don't do it. I'm back to my entry. This is where I need to add. If it respects this, I might add one more. I told you as soon as I added up there, we were going to have a 20-point pullback. Let's measure it. Let's measure it. I added right in the middle of that son of a gun. 23 point, 26-point pullback, 27-point pullback. Can I call my stuff? If I would have just put an order 20 points away, I would have been fine. All right. So far, this fair value gap, when we left this area, the candle bodies are respecting that fair value gap. I like that, but I'm still lacking confidence in this trade, believe it or not. I feel like I know where the market's going, but we've inverted the first prez again. I would like to see this be a pullback for more upside, but I'm not the luckiest guy in the world. And we're just sitting at 50. 50 back to round number. Definitely a possibility. I don't think we made it to 76, did we? No, we didn't. I wonder what Tilt was doing during all this. I bet it's 80% long, 80% short. Nope, it's long. Okay, so there's first prez again. And we wicked into that sucker and pulled back. I'm taking this off. As much as I hate to, I've taken it off. We are respecting that downside right here. I gotta. I feel like we're going back up, but I can't ignore the fact that we went up here, mostly respected this fair value gap, and then fell right out of bed again. First press, wicked into it. I can't ignore that. So a return to this breaker is highly possible here. Getting a brand new low of the day is highly possible here. So I'm trading what I see, even though I want it to go higher. I'd rather preserve some profit. If we can invert this thing again, I'll go long again. There we go. Oh, didn't get filled. There we go. Now we got filled. Now my stop is just right at the base of this. I need to move it down to there. And this candle has not finished, so we could come straight back down. But I like that a little better. Go ahead and preserve some profit and wait for more information. We still have the possibility of getting all-time high here, or making it back to the breaker and reversing again. 57% long, 70% long in ES still. That's a little worrisome. So we've dipped back below the first press again. It's time of day that's messing with us here. London closed. This was kind of like MOC of London, market on close of London. If you've ever traded in the last 10 minutes of the day, that was their last 10 minutes of the day. Last 2 minutes of the 3 minutes of the day for them. They were closing down their market. So having a big move during that time is very, very common, and I should have thought about that and held my position probably. But I would rather preserve a little bit of profit and get back in than lose all my profit. I still have a lot of potential here for upside. If we just look at it from the opening range perspective, the rules about the opening range, man, look, that's just crappy looking market, crappy looking candles. But the opening range was here and here. We took out the low of the opening range. The rule is if we get a 15-minute candle closing back within the opening range after leaving it, there is a high probability we make it through the entirety of the opening range, which is the all-time high. So we could at least wick into there and then maybe do a reversion to the mean back to the middle. I'm not interested in that, but I am interested in it working its way back through the opening range. So from that 15-minute candle perspective, this should go back up to the all-time high. I can't remember what the rule is on that opening range of the 15-minute candle closes back inside. I remember Hogue always saying it's highly likely, but I don't remember if he ever put a percentage point on it. but I would sure like to see it start making its way there sooner rather than later. Sweet. The opening range is 20. Don't think that'll get me funded today, but get me a little closer. I could size up and get there today, no doubt. We're right back to where we rejected before. I wish I would have just taken profit there, but don't have a crystal ball. An inversion of this breaker is a add spot. So if we can get past it, that'd be a good place to add a little more in. But you saw what happens when I add, so I don't know if I'm going to do it this time. If I try to add, I'm going to do it 20 points lower than what we're currently trading. Did we drop 20 points? Yep. Let's see. Only 13 points. It's struggling to get through that fair value gap. I've often wondered if I just set a two, three, $400 take profit and just took that money when I see a reversal pattern instead of trying to get more money. If I would not have more P&L in a month's time, than trying to get it to take the all-time high or question whether or not we're going to invalidate this downside break. I think I might, because that last trade I was in on, I think I don't know for sure how much I was up, but when I added, I was probably up $300 or $400. And then we had the 25-point pullback. And I ended up killing the trade. I think I made 150 bucks on it or something like that. And then here we are again in the same area. I probably am up a couple of $100 at the risk of another pullback. But if I kill the trade, I have no chance of getting the full day range, going all the way through. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Do you take off a portion of your position and let the rest run? Or do we just leave it all on? Do we take the risk off at this point? I think that would be a good idea. I've found a lot of times when I take the risk off, if I move it to where I'm at break even, I might as well kill the trade right then, because it will come back and stop me out of break even. But so far, I am liking this move, and I'm going to just take, instead of just saying, okay, static stop at this level, I'm maybe just going with the current market conditions. I think we have a very high probability of reaching for the all-time highs again. And so I'm going to watch real close right here. If we can push through that breaker, then we should be okay. So this is 1 minute over here. I'm going to put the 1 minute on the big guy. That is touching the breaker right there. So this could be a point of pullback. I would like to see it get all the way above it to here, with candle bodies closing above, and then we'll really have a super high probability of going to that all-time high. But so far, this is looking sweet. $80 to $50 pullback could happen. Should I get out and try to get back in? Take some off. Should I preserve some of this profit? These are the kind of things, the traders' decisions they have to make, and sometimes it can be really stressful. I'm going to let this candle finish and see how it looks, and I might take it off. But where would I re-enter? I like the way the candle body finished. So we did create a fair value gap on the way up here. Wicks did damage, of course, like they always do. But that would be an inverted bearish fair value gap and a respected bullish fair value gap. So far, this candle could close it in. Or we could have another wick situation here. We touch the breaker, pulled back significantly. So where would be this? You could call that a breaker. Where would be my exit strategy here? Fair value gap to the downside. I got to get out. I got to get out. I got to preserve some of this profit. So where would be a reentry? This fair value gap right here would need to be respected. That other one certainly wasn't. And then first pres would be the next one that would need to be respected. So far, this one's looking okay. And this is usually where I wrote all my profits. I still have the expectation that we're going all the way through this daily range. And so I would be trying to anticipate, okay, well, how far down is this pullback going to be? The last one was 25 points. We bounced off of a bearish breaker without invalidating it. So we could go all the way back down to the bottom. 25 points ish would be here, right there. Is that all we're going for? And right now, I have nothing to say we aren't going to the lows. We may go back to round number. We bounced off of a bearish breaker and we're offering more downside violently. So now we're at the first pres again. These violated. No good. This one, we actually created a new one. If we're calling that our breaker, this would be it. But this would be the technical breaker in which we have not had a fair value gap. I'm going to get rid of that one. And I'm going to put this guy here. Tough. This is a tough trading day. I expected it not to be. I expected it to be a one direction, run for the hills kind of day. Our 25-point pullback would be about right there. Where would a billionaire buy? You want to see what the tilt looks like? I bet you up here it was like 80% long again. So now we're at 52% short. ES is still long. I haven't even looked at ES to see if it's actually trading a little bit smoother. Sometimes I think it would be better to trade ES. The signals are I think I got MES on here. It's pretty much doing the same garbage. So if I have a contract that's going to produce more money per contract, I'd rather trade it than trade one that's doing the exact same thing for less money. Okay, so we wicked into that. I like that. We can invert this again. I guess I'll take another one. Look how far away the breaker is. We could range in between those two for the remainder of the day. That would be okay too. But I would like for this to be respected, and then we have a continued upside for that little 15-minute candle garbage to be valid. I mean, looking at those 15-minute candles, I would call this a crappy trading day. Okay, I'm gonna try another one at first press. And the center of first press is 58. Oh, we're already at 57. So I'm at 56.75. 58. There we go. We got filled. Man, I'm not even thinking about this. That's a bearish breaker that we just wicked into. We'll pretend like it's not there. Respected, inverted. Can we do it? Also respected. Got to leave it on there. As much as I don't want it to be there, it's really a battle. Time of day, noon, 12:50 macro. It could go either way here, guys. It really could. And I don't need to be in a position that could go either way. I need to be in a position that's going my direction. Violate this thing so I'll have a little bit more confidence in holding this trade. That's the entirety of the breaker. If we're calling this the breaker, then it's way up there. I got to wait for more confirmation. I can't be gambling. So if we consider this a run on liquidity, this is our bullish breaker. Why can't we grab a hold of that line? I can't grab a hold of that line. There it goes. And this will be the bottom of it. And since I'm bull-minded today, or bull-headed, I want to see this one respected and a fair value gap back to the upside. all this work I've done today, I'm sitting $8 higher than I was when I started today. I was at 472 when I started today. I'm sitting at $8 higher right now because of my long bias, I assume. Oh, well, I think I've made it very abundantly clear that I have no clue what I'm doing. So I think I'm gonna end the live stream and I'm gonna wait for something good to happen and I might take another trade. But right now I'm feeling like I've missed several opportunities and maybe I should just stop for the day and just take my $400 and be happy because this market is handing my butt to me. It's not it's not doing what I want it to do, which is go long, and I am not comfortable with a short. So I'm just going to leave it alone. Thank y'all for watching.